Hi, I'm Nate with Average Jack Archery, Pro Shop and Range here in Phillipsburg, PA. And no, your eyes do not deceive you. This is an elite Ethos, and we should probably talk about it. So the sun's absolutely blaring and the wind is pretty brisk, and I'm too lazy to break out the ND filter, so this color grading is what it is. But I haven't made a video in a while, and particularly since the closing of Athens, so I figured I'd come out here with my new hunting rig. We'll talk about target stuff later on in the summer, to specifically, kind of give an update on where we're at with the shop and where I'm at with shooting. Basically, within an hour of Athens closing their doors, Elite sent me an email and said, hey, do you want to be on board with the Elite family? I'm like, oh shoot, it's 2020 all over again. And for reference, I've owned 7 Elites in the past. I bought my first one in 2016. I think it was my Energy 35, which I still have, and it's just sitting in the basement, just waiting in the wings as a backup bow. But then I had the Answer. I bought my wife not the Image, the Spirit. It was all snow camo, and that was a really nice bow. I shot a Rezult. I had a Kure. I had a Victory 39. I mean, I had a whole bunch of bows that I shot very, very well. And then, I kind of jumped on Athens when we started the shop. Big dealer for them here in Central PA. And I started shooting their bows, and they're very similar. The original owners of Athens, or I should say the secondary owners of Athens, were some of the original Elite engineers. And so a lot of similarities between those two bows, and I shot them very well. And then they crapped the bed, and we're no longer a dealer, just like everybody else. And Elite reached out to me, and it was like riding a bike. I jumped right back into it. Obviously, I wanted the Ethos for hunting. I have a Verdict for target. We'll talk about target stuff later in the summer. But this here is an Elite Verdict. It's 70 pounds. It's an all black. I got the bright orange strings on here, much to the chagrin of my wife. She hates it, but I think it looks pretty sharp. I'm shooting the CBE, the Trek Pro 3 vertical pin, and we'll do more reviews on that this summer. This style of sight has become incredibly popular. A 3-pin slider, whether you get it from CBE, Redline, Spot Hog, whatever. They're very, very popular, and I like that vertical stack pin. Don't get me wrong, it's not cheap, but I really do like it. I have not set up the tape for it. I just have the 3 pins, which do move independently here in the sight housing. I've got it here set up. I'm going to try something different with my hunting bow this year. I'm going to run the Bee Stinger counter slide. So instead of running a front bar and a back bar, I'm just running that counter slide. You can see I'm just holding this here with my thumb. It balances very, very well. It kind of lowers the overall profile of the bow, shaves off a decent amount of weight. The Ethos is a 33-inch axle-to-axle bow. Like I said, I'm shooting it at 70 pounds. 31-inch draw. I do have the performance mods on here. And if you're on the cusp of, you want to try an Elite, you want to try the Ethos, the Allure, or the Cairo, we're a big dealer of them here in Central PA. They're really, really well-made bows, but those performance mods on the Omnia last year, particularly for us bigger guys, it was a rough draw cycle. On the Ethos, I mean, I'll draw it again here. Like I said, this is 70 pounds. I've been shooting this bow for about, 2 weeks now, and I'm traditionally not a 70-pound guy for hunting. But I mean, that comes back like nothing. And I have it set around, I don't know, mid-80s for let off. And that's nothing. I might even set it closer to like 80%. You have the ability to go 70 to 90 right on the module there. No extra parts needed. I mean, but it's just, and like, here's where that hump would be. And it's not a hump, it just has to break into the valley. And it's so quiet. I'm shooting a new arrow for me this year anyway. I'm going to shoot a gold tip kinetic chaos. And I know it's only April. Like, Nate, you're already setting on your hunting bow. Absolutely. I told the customers in the shop that are regulars, told my wife, I said, I'm going to set up a bow and I'm going to leave it. I'm going to set it up now, and it'll be the same now as it will be come deer season. We're a little bit over here, over 20 yards, but it's just absolute lasers. Gold tip kinetic chaos 300 spine. I'm shooting the footer system. I'm not shooting their knock. I'm actually shooting a Bohning Easton knock, their blazer knock that goes in an Axis or an FMJ. It's got a really good knock fit on this serving here, and plus also I'll want to run a standard 5 mil lighted knock down the road. So I'll shoot 125 grain point. This arrow is very heavy for me. I like to be in the 450 range usually. This thing, because the kinetic stealth is just so heavy, comes out to 517 with a lighted knock. So that's pretty heavy for me. However, out of this Ethos, even with how smooth the draw cycle is, it is coming out at 290 feet, 288 to 290 out of my chrono. So that is screaming for a 517 grain arrow out of a 70-pound bow. Granted, I do have a 31-inch draw, but man, I've never had a hunting bow this fast before. I'll probably be shooting some flavor of Magnus. I might even want to put a 150 up front and shoot their single bevel, but definitely going to be shooting a Black Hornet probably. And then if I want to shoot a mechanical, it's going to be a Grim Reaper all day. 125 grain mini mags, they're hard for me to leave. Now for the astute viewers who have been following my channel for a while are probably going, Nate, that does not look like a Hot Shot. And you're right. Now I'm not leaving my work with Hot Shot. They're a great release company, and I actually have the full gauntlet of all the releases that I shot. Here's a hookup, here's an Ember, here's my Vapor. I'm not leaving these anytime soon. However, I wanted to try something a little bit heavier, and since I was working with the Outdoor Group and Elite and CBE, I asked if they would send me a Scott Apex. So I'm a big fan of thumb buttons. I've shot hinges in the past, I've shot wrist strap style in the past, but I really like an open hook, and I've never tried the stainless steel or brass style release, and I wanted to see if I liked the weight. I do. I like the weight. I like the adjustable finger. I like the trigger, travel, and tension adjustments. The thumb barrels is a good fit for me. It is beefy though. It is taking me something to get used to, but if you're looking for a high-end open hook style release, definitely give the Scott a look here. They don't make very many open hook style releases. They make ones that have the enclosed finger. I am not a fan of those whatsoever. Traditionally, I stick, like I said, with my Hot Shot. So this is my favorite release from Hot Shot. It is the hookup. It's small. It's lightweight. It just fits my hand like a glove. I usually shoot like a large size release. This is the release I hunted with all of last year. I've done, oh gosh, this has been to Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Killed my biggest buck to date. Killed a buck out in Indiana with it. Should have killed a bigger buck out in Indiana with it. A couple of does as well. This is just my favorite release. That nice deep open hook. You can actually just hook it right onto your D-loop and leave it hang there. They make the closed version as well, and the Ember. The Vapor is probably the best budget style release that I have ever shot. I shot this at Lancaster last year. I actually shot it at Lancaster this year in conjunction with the Ember, and I just was posting amazing scores with a release that's only 125 bucks, I think, somewhere around there. So I'm not leaving my Hot Shots. Anybody who's like, I have a Hot Shot, Nate, you're the only person I see shooting it, don't panic. I'm going back to him too. But I just wanted to give the Apex a try with this stainless steel brass, and I'm enjoying the weight. It's something very different. Because really at the end of the day, once you get into that upper echelon of price point, they're all very similar. It's just going to be how they feel in your hand. The Scott has an adjustable third finger. You can also make it into a four finger. If you want, you could take the finger off and just shoot it as a two finger. But I just love open hook design. That's just so clean. I know Stan has a keeper on theirs. Still, you kind of have to push it in there. I just don't like it. I just want to go whoop, just like that. So I can, be sitting there looking at a deer, look real quick down, boop, that's all I got to do. I can leave it hang in the tree if I need to. It's just one of those things. I just love an open hook style release. I cannot get over how vibration free this bow is. For how fast this arrow is going and how heavy it is, you would think there'd be some vibration with it, and there's nothing. And like I said, I'm not running a front and back bar. I only have one point of attachment here with this counter slide. So it's not even directly attached to the bow. It's not like it's going straight out the front or straight out the back. I don't know. But again, this draw cycle for me is just like right here is where you expect it to hump over. And it's not a hump. I mean, you have to get the lead off somehow. But anyhow, the shop is going very well. We're in the dead season, obviously. People are getting prepped for TAC and 3D, competitive or just with their buddies. Maybe they're getting some arrows refletched. The smart ones, and you should be one of the smart ones too. If you need string cables, now is the time to do it. Our favorite string builder, which is Gas, they are around 2 weeks right now. But as soon as June hits, July hits, you're looking at 4 weeks. As soon as you get into that August time frame, you're looking at 6 weeks. So if you think, yeah, I'm probably gonna need string cables this summer, don't wait till summer, just do it now. If you're gonna spend the money on getting a fresh set of threads, just do it now when lead times are short. Your shops can get to it quickly. Pretty much I'm all caught up on my work for the spring so far. So I know we're all thinking turkey season, but at the same time, don't forget about the fall. You've been warned. I know this video was kind of vloggy, a little bit rambly, but hope you enjoyed it anyway. I want to kind of give you an update on where we sit with the shop and where I sit with the bow company that I'm working with. I'm very proud to be back with Elite. Just really high quality products. I was very impressed with the Kure and the Rezult when I jumped on board with them back in 2020. I'm very happy to be back into the fold. I'm looking forward to some great hunts this fall with the Ethos and a lot of 3D stuff and content this summer with the Verdict. So more to come on that. And I want you Yes, you, the regular followers of the channel, if you see me shooting anything other than this summer as my hunting setup, I want you to scream in the comments, Nate, don't change. You promised you wouldn't, and I promise I'm not gonna change my hunting setup. Now, my 3D setup, target stuff's different. So that's all for this video. I hope you're able to also get outside and enjoy the beautiful spring weather, get some fresh air and sunshine. Hope you're able to get outside and enjoy God's beautiful creation. Shoot your bow hunting, target, whatever it is. And we'll get to see you next time.